Hello YouTube, Salivate Metal here, with another discussion on modern collector coin grading. But before we go into that discussion, let's first review really quickly the history of coin grading, starting in 1949 with the Sheldon scale. First presented by Dr. William Sheldon, it was essentially created to grade American cent coins. And the reason why we have it going to 70 as opposed to 100 is because he essentially determined that a perfect mint state of 70 coin would be worth 70 times that of the Basel state of 1, or the poorest example. But nonetheless, it became very difficult to determine between these grades in time as coin collecting evolved. And so what happened is in the 80s, the American Numismatic Association developed a standard that was much more discernible and was adopted by most every one of the grading companies at the time that was just beginning to form. So we had the inception of organizations such as PCGS, NGC, ANAX, and ICG. Those were the major coin grading companies at the time, and I believe all are still in existence, with NGC and PCGS being the two major players in the coin grading business today. But nonetheless, here we are on the U.S. Mint's website that tells us about the ANA coin grading scale, and it is from this basis that we make our determinations these days. So here we're going to go to the ANAmoney.org website that talks about these grading standards. And we look here that it's all we can find is just essentially information on uncirculated coins. But these designations can certainly be applied to proof coins, and we will find more states, more incidences in proof coins of 70s and 69s probably than uncirculated coins, unless they are of the collector variety, of which you will tend to find more of the 69s and 70s. Much rarer to find in 68 or 70 or 67. But let's look at these definitions closely. A 70 is defined here as the perfect coin, has very attractive and sharp strikes and original luster of the highest quality. No contact marks, no noticeable hairline scuffs, attractive eye appeal, and so forth. But what the difference is between the 70 and the 69 we can see here, as you read here, is that there's no more than two small non-detracting contact marks or flaws. And it doesn't designate how those flaws take place, whether they're in production or post-production, but nonetheless they are flaws and they are designated as a 69. It does give you some room for an imperfect coin in the MS70 state, such as one small non-detracting contact mark or flaw. So that is the ANA's official guidelines. Now we're going to take a look at what PCGS says in their definition of an MS70. And of course, again, this could apply to PF70 as well. And that is for a mint state 70, the perfect coin. They take it a step further and say that even with 5 times magnification, there are no marks, hairlines, or luster breaks in evidence. The luster is vibrant, the strike is razor sharp, and the eye appeal is the ultimate. Note, minor die polish and light die breaks are not considered to be defects on circulation strike coins, but not collector type coins. And the MS70 designation is used for collector type uncirculated coins. So again, a more conservative definition there. They take it a step further, and then we go to NGC's site, and their designation of what is a 70 is somewhat conservative as well, but they put a caveat on it. NGC defines a mint state or proof 70 coin as having no post-production imperfections at 5 times magnification, which is what I was told by officials at NGC when I spoke to them. But they do put in there about the 5 times magnification. And as you have seen from my complaints, is that these imperfections are visible to the naked eye. So they certainly are not living up to their own standards, in my opinion, as to what a 70 coin is. With that being said, many people buy these coins sight unseen, as I used to do. And with so many coming out these days, You have to be very, very careful. So now we look here, and this is from ANAC's website. This is a document that they had posted on their website that affect coin grading, and that is coin and die flaws. There are two major ways that a mint can make a production mistake. The first is to strike a coin on a substandard planchet, and the second is to strike a coin from a less than perfect die. If either happens, the coin's grade can be lowered depending upon the location and severity of the flaw. So certainly in production, mistakes or imperfections are taken into account, or should be taken into account, by all the grading services. It's interesting to note that ANA is affiliated with NGC for their grading, and they're the official, I believe they're the official grading company of the ANA. So that brings me to essentially a cautionary tale that I mentioned in a previous video, and that is to buy the coin and not the holder, and to be very careful when purchasing coins online that have the MS or PF70 designation. Just because it says it on the coin does not mean that it is a 70, especially a 70, because people are paying high premiums for these coins, and companies and certain dealers and the like are getting lots of these graded and trying to get them out on the release date so they can have them in their hand quickly. With that being said, feel free to share your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.